Hi, welcome to Mouse Ears and Mommy Tears, the podcast where we balance parenthood in the world of Disney. We're your hosts, Natalie.
Jen.
And Nicole.
Each week, we will discuss topics about being former Disney kids turned Disney adults to now Disney moms. Stay with us while we unravel this hot mess express.
Hello, ladies. I think we're all silent because we need to talk about the big news that came out today in the world of Disney. We're all just stunned and not okay with this Genie Plus business.
They keep changing things. Like, we get used to one thing and now they're completely changing it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's stuff that I wanted from before, but I think now that I've had this way, the changes are going to be challenging.
I feel like I did complain that I don't want to be on my phone the whole time, but I've quickly learned at least it's a level playing field. Everybody can only buy it at one time, like only in the morning can buy it. This whole doing it a week ahead of time, if you're a hotel guest, one thing that I learned to enjoy was being spontaneous on my trips. And I never realized how much I couldn't be if I wanted to in regular free fast passes, because you're picking them so far ahead of time that you're like, okay, well, on this day, I have to go to Epcot because I have this fast pass. And it's going to go right back to that. I've gotten really used to morning or the night before. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go to this park. And I just switched my park reservation to where I want it. I'm going to have to just go right back to the way it was before because I made a fast pass a week ago.
I think they're using it to control the crowds of getting people to stay on property more, because you have the benefit of booking it a week out versus other people. So I feel like they're just trying to get people to stay on property more. But
hey, you want people to stay on property more? Give us free mirrors back. I don't care about.
So I want this, like, with the Magical Express part with the luggage.
Yes, with the luggage. But think about it. Even the crappiest of hotels give you a free shuttle from the airport. So it's like, come on, guys.
I know.
What I don't understand either is they mentioned nothing about virtual queues. So we still waking up at 7 a.m. to get a virtual queue? Or like
that virtual queues will remain the same for Tiana's and Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron, I'm pretty sure. They said, like, that's not going to change. You could still get up at 7 and get a virtual queue. And from what I understand, Lightning Lanes isn't going to change. You can still buy like 2 a day or like 1 per park.
Or day.
I don't know. That's the whole thing. I don't know if that's day of or in advance.
Right.
See, it was stressful that I have to learn new things all the time. And I have a large coming with me when we go in August, and I need to know things because I'm the planner.
Yeah.
No.
Have to figure this whole thing out again when we go in August.
Yeah.
Right. I know. I was thinking that. I'm like, we were talking about being like spontaneous. Oh, if we get a reservation, we get it. If not, we'll just go to another park. And now I'm like, if we have to pick 3 rides per day, I don't know. It's crazy.
No, what I said they
feel about it.
What the price is going to be. They said nothing if it's going to remain on fluctuated pricing. Nothing. So I'm like, great. I agree with a lot of the comments on it. It's probably going to go even higher in price. But they're still going to surge it.
Yeah.
Right.
So we could talk about this for days.
I know. Our actual conversation, we are doing part 2 of our DVC Welcome Home series, where before we talked about buying and all the benefits of being an owner. And this week we're going to talk about renting and our renting experience.
Yeah, because we did that recently on our girls' trip. We rented. First time.
I feel like I've heard so much about it, like from all these other bloggers, all these sites that talk about it, even like where I bought my resale points, right? They have a rental site too. And I've always played with it, but I've never actually felt the value in it because I had the points. So it was nice to be able to go through it and actually figure out how it worked.
Yeah, that was my first time and well, all of our first time renting because we did not have points available when we originally started planning this girls trip. We were all in debt. So we needed to make
That's
girls trip happen. We actually went through the place that I got my resale from. Honestly, I don't know. They all sound the same. And this is horrible because I bought on one and you guys bought on another. But the one that I bought on is the one that we went through.
sure you went through the DVC rental store.
Yeah.
Because the logo of where you bought from, it's the same logo, but it says rental store instead of like
Yes. Deep
buying.
rental store. I just looked
Yeah.
at it to make sure. You know, all the words
Right.
together. They were great. The process was really easy. I'm the one that booked it like it was in my name. And basically, we compared things for a while. We were looking at moderates through Disney's website. We were looking at if we did like additional points, the one-time use point.
Buying point. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at that, and we were also looking at the rental store. And it's a really good idea if you don't own, because it's actually pretty cheap compared to, like, if you were to stay at Beach Club, or I think, didn't you guys just price something out?
Right. So Animal Kingdom, I just saw, and they have confirmed reservations. So when you're doing the rental store, you can go in for the dates you want and see what's available. Like they'll go and contact DVC members, or you can use confirmed reservations, which I think are people that made reservation can no longer make those times. But if they go ahead and cancel it, they
They're out.
can't get points back.
Yeah.
So they might as well just put it on the confirmed market in hopes that someone picks it up.
Yeah.
So I just checked a confirmed one today, and it was Animal Kingdom 3 days. I think it was in July, and it was like $1,700 for 3 days. Nicole, you saw that one too. Was it 3 days?
Yeah.
I think it was 3 days. Yeah. It was
Days.
the
Yeah.
3 days, 2 nights kind of thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Studio?
But then,
Right. Yeah,
for
studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But then
Mhm.
comparing it on like Walt Disney World website, if you just want to book the room as like a normal everyday vacation goer, it was like almost $3,000. It was like 2,900 and changed, which is crazy difference. That's a
For the
crazy
exact same
big
date.
difference. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why we decided to go through or rental, because we were comparing it from a moderate, and it was the same price as a moderate. So when we booked it in January for June, and when we did, it was going to be $500 for like Saratoga for, what do we say, 2 nights? Or it could have been $475 at Port Orleans Riverside, or $594 for the French Quarter for the same amount. So paying moderate prices, like getting a deluxe. And even with that, we were rentals, but they had no idea. So when you check in, they don't know if you're a rental. They don't know if you're direct. They don't have no idea how you got there. So as long as you're staying there, you get the benefit of those, the extra magic hours at night that only DVC
Right.
and Works resorts get, because you're staying there. You're paying cheaper, paying less, and getting the nicer place and all the perks that come with it.
And our trip, you had to go out and find out who could do it. It wasn't a confirmed reservation.
No, we
Like
didn't
you
confirm.
had to,
So
right. We had our exact dates that we
Yeah.
had to stick by, and you went out. How long did it take to hear back from the rental about it or not?
when we did it, I know it took like a week. It took a while. I remember sitting there being like, are they going to get it? So the process of it is you go on, you have to go through everything. So it's great because as soon as you put in your dates, it'll give you a price. So no matter
And that's
what,
the most important part, right? Like you
Yeah.
need to price out your trip. Yeah.
so they'll give you a price before you go through the whole process. So I knew exactly what we were looking for, exactly what we were going to get, and exactly what we were going to pay. So I went through the process. I selected Saratoga, the just standard studio for the nights that we wanted. Then you go confirm all the way through. And then you have like backups. So if that one doesn't go through, then I think we take Don. And then if that one doesn't go through, Old Key West. You can make a few choices that they can open up. So from there, I filled everything out, and then they said, okay, cool. Now I'm going to submit this request, and I'm going to see if any DVC owners want to pick this up. So basically, as an owner, I know what they're doing is they're contacting people who said, hey, I have points. If someone wants to use them at anywhere, if it's 7 months out, it was less than 7 months out. So we were able to have anybody book. It doesn't have to be a Saratoga person that was
And
booked.
real quick, as a DVC owner, we were able to kind of already get a leg up. We didn't even bother to ask for certain resorts we would want to stay with, Pat, because we had access to the DVC site.
Yeah.
We know what's available and what's not. Like,
Yeah.
clearly we all love the boardwalk. We didn't even bother because we knew that it wasn't available. We went on the site as if we were using our points, saw what was actually available, and then contacted them on the hotels that we already saw was available. So for us, like, we waited a week, which I think was like kind of long, but it was waiting a week knowing that we were going to get it. Imagine waiting a week, like just to find out, oh no, Beach Club isn't available. It's like, well, yeah, we know that, but other people don't.
I feel like you have a place you absolutely want to stay at, you need to book it 11 months out, because that's when somebody can hold it for you. I feel like you'll have a better chance at getting the exact resort you want, the exact dates that you want, if you're doing it 11 months out. Even like between 11 months and 7 months, to be honest. As soon as that 7-month window opens is when all the floodgates open, because that's when everybody can now access it. But if you really want the boardwalk, I mean, it's probably harder too, because I have to find a boardwalk owner to be able to book.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a whole website on it and multiple out there. So I'm assuming there's enough people out there to want to do this, DVC sellers or DVC owners. So anyway, I submitted the request, and then what they did is they found an owner who was willing to book it for me. So as a DVC owner, I know the process. Basically, what they did is they found somebody who has points that they wanted to use. We signed a contract that, yes, I'm going to do this. And then it has like cancellation policies of, when you can cancel by and how much you'll get back, things like that. So I'm assuming what happened is the DVC owner saw what dates we needed, saw where we wanted to stay. And then when you get to those, you can put in as a DVC owner, when you're doing your reservations, you put in who's staying in the room. So I gave them all of our names. So I'm assuming what they did is they put our names in instead of their names. So, I mean, everything was kept confidential. I have no idea who I got points from. I have no idea anything about them. I don't know where they own. I don't know anything, but they booked it for me and it worked fine. I had a reservation number. I had everything as if I was staying there, and I booked it myself. And then I just added it on our My Disney experience, and it was no different from that point on than if we used our own points.
Now, from the time that they said, yes, we have it available, and you put the deposit down, how long did it take them to turn around with the confirmation number?
I think it took 48 hours.
Okay.
But I only had a few days to respond to. Like, everything is within a few days. You have 48 hours to respond to this. They have this available. Do you want this? Yes or no? Like, there was a lot of back and forth. They did great. It was very, very helpful, and it was very easy to navigate. I mean, I know DVC, so I don't know that it would be, I don't think it would be that much more difficult if you don't know DVC, because it's just telling you what to do. I just know what's going on in the back end of it because we've done our own reservation. Or
I feel like if I didn't know DVC, it would seem a little intimidating. I can't tell you how many people, and I'm sure you guys get the exact same situation, like how many people come to you for advice when it comes to booking a Disney trip. I get so many people coming to me, and I always say the same thing: rent DVC points over buying through Disney. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're going to get a moderate for the price of a deluxe. You're going to get a moderate. It doesn't make sense. Or when Nicole did Art of Animation, and me and Jen were like, no, don't do it. But it's like, you don't know, right? It's just so much easier to rent points. But if you haven't done it before and you know nothing about how DVC works, I feel like it would be intimidating. And I actually asked Nicole, who I talked about in that other episode, was trying to rent DVC points so she could be next to me at Boardwalk. And I asked her how that process was. And you're talking about someone who is like, I'll just pay full price for Boardwalk because I don't want to stay at the Swan and Dolphins. And like, clearly you don't know that it is right next to each other. So you're talking to someone. Yeah. You're talking to someone that is just like knows nothing about Disney. And I asked her if she felt it was easy. And she said, yeah, I mean, it was fine. I just followed the prompts. But what she didn't realize was she said she wasn't really paying attention to the different variations of rooms. Like, because, they give you the price.
Mhm.
And she was just going by what I told her. So she was like, I want this Boardwalk and I want a studio because that's what I was telling her. She's like, I didn't know what it was. And when the guy came back, he's like, we don't have that, but we have this 2-bedroom available at Saratoga. And I was like, you don't want that. You don't want that. Like, no, you don't want that. She's like, okay. But, she's thinking, oh, I'm going to spend top dollar for this room. What's the difference? But she wasn't actually looking at the tiers of
Yeah.
rooms. I think that's something that if you're used to booking a hotel room, it's a little intimidating to
Yeah.
have to go through the tiers,
Yeah.
right? And even when I was going in and I was trying to do it with fresh eyes, I did not think about that because I do know what those are. So I can't unlearn that, for the sake of the experiment, right?
I think if you're going to rent DVC points, you need to do your research before you even get to the website. You need to know what the different resorts are, which one you want, why you want it, because that can determine if you want Boardwalk because you want to be close to Epcot. You can also try Riviera. You can also try like Beach Club. So there's alternatives because you're going to want to have multiple choices just in case. And then, are you good with a garden view? Are you good with a standard view? Do you not care? Do you really want a Boardwalk view? At Riviera, there's the even more confusing one because it's the tower one, and then it's a studio, and then so you don't know what these rooms are, how many people you have, what the best layout is. You got to look at floor plans. You got to look and see if it's a sleeper sofa or if it's a Murphy bed. Like there are a lot of little caveats to things that if you have no idea anything DVC, you're gonna need to either ask somebody or watch some videos or do lots of deep searching through Google to really figure it out. I mean, the website does walk you through it a bit, but you're gonna want to do your own research to know exactly what you're looking for. And you won't be getting your money back if you realize, oh shoot, I didn't want to be at OQS because I wanted to be near Magic Kingdom, and I probably should have realized that Bay Lake is next to Magic Kingdom, not Saratoga. So
Right.
there's a lot.
I also feel like if all the research to do, that little amount will save you so much more money than, I don't know, half the things that we YouTube to get hyped and learn in Disney, right? You could save so much more money by taking the time to figure that out. And I know when something's overwhelming, I like to use a travel agent when I'm overwhelmed. I don't know Disneyland, and I hired a travel agent to talk to me about that because I don't know it. And the Disney cruise, I'm like, I could probably figure it out. If I have a travel agent, you figure out because getting events and stuff on that, I'm
That's
sure you could talk on that.
Story. My God, is it confused?
That's
Yeah,
right. You did
it's a
it
whole other
recently.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk to you
Yeah.
guys about that a whole other day. That was so fun.
But the travel agent is not going to tell you to rent DVC because they don't get commission on that. They need to sell the Disney packages.
That's true.
So,
Right.
And
you're not going to get that.
that's the other drawback is you can't get a package through it. So if you're looking for that like free dining or those different offers, I will tell you it's not worth it. It's not cheaper. We've priced it out, but you don't get the free dining. You don't get Magic Your Way passes, like discounts because you're doing a room and the stay and play packages or whatever
Right.
they are. But know that you're getting a discount on the room essentially. So you still have to go through and you have to do the other, dining and park reservations and things like that.
My advice is go ahead and talk to a travel agent if it makes you feel better, if you don't know anything, and price it everything out. Like, don't
Yeah.
take our word for it either.
Yeah.
Price everything out. Go let a travel agent tell you what it would cost with one of Disney's promotion, 4-night, whatever is going on, and then go ahead and price what you would want your boardwalk to be like and decide what's worth it for you and what the price difference is.
Yeah.
Like with my Disneyland research, I had her price out some of the Disneyland hotels and some non-Disneyland hotels. And I also went on my DVC to see if it was worth the points for me to grab a Disneyland hotel or a Grand Californian, which would take up an entire year of my points if I could even get it. There's also hotels that are across the street that are still 4 stars.
Yeah.
It would be worth it for what I was seeing to spend the money on those than lose 2 years of DVC points for me.
It's not worth it.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
understand right
But,
there, but
But
It's
they're
not
all
bad.
good neighbor hotels. We stayed at a good neighbor hotel when we went to Disneyland, and we still got in early. Like, we
Yeah.
walked there. It was a 5-minute walk. Like, it was totally fine. And we paid a
Right.
heck of a lot less than
Right.
staying
But
on
see, I don't know.
Disneyland property.
yeah,
Right.
if you don't- that's when you need to ask around. You need to do your research, however you benefit most, whether it's listening to podcasts or going on YouTube or literally just doing deep dives into blogs or just asking people, like, when would a DVC rental be better for you? And I think it also is good to look into if you're going with a large group, because then you can get those 2 bedrooms rather than getting a bunch of like regular standard rooms. It's just some things to consider. Something that I did think about before we were doing ours. Before we bought the boardwalk contract, we were debating if we wanted to just rent DVC points for our family trip with the large group in August, but we had the points, so it was fine. But I think even as a DVC owner, it's a great option for when you have those lulls and you used your point too much. But it's also great on the other side of it if, hey, I have too many points and they're going to freaking expire. What do I do? DVC rentals. So I think it's a great thing that's out there. I don't think a lot of people know about it. If you've never been to Disney or if you've only really done Disney one way, I think only if you really start looking into the deluxe and DVCs is when you really recognize it, or if you know somebody that is DVC. My experience with booking it was seamless. It was perfect. I loved it. Everything about it was amazing. I have no complaints of anything, of any process of it. I was a little nervous that when we got there, they were like, "Who are you?" But no, you're fine. It was as if I booked it through my own point. So,
I was honestly surprised that it was so seamless.
yeah. So
All
you
right.
want to grind your ears for the week?
Yes. Yes. I go first. And I don't know if this is Nicole's because we're kind of going through the same situation a little bit here. But I don't like that to book a special event, I can do it at midnight. Did I take
Wow.
yours?
No, but I just thought of this because this is literally tonight.
Our life. Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
We're staying up till midnight right now to do some bookings.
Yeah.
For the Very Merry?
No.
No. For Bippity Boppity,
Oh.
it opened at
Oh my God,
midnight.
our husbands are listening. We're going to have to cut this out.
Cut it out. Cut it out. I'm just
Oh,
cutting
yeah.
it out.
But even
26
right,
minutes,
no.
54 seconds. Cut it.
Okay.
I'm going to put like a censored over the word.
Just feel like we'll talk about the droids instead.
I will get to that. I will get to the
Okay.
droid joke. So to book a special event, you can do it at midnight. Okay. But dining is still 6 o'clock the next morning.
6 a.m. is rough, by the way. I had to do that on
It's
Monday.
real rough when it's Central Time. Don't talk to me
Yeah.
about it.
That's why I was like, I'll get up at 6. I have my list.
I'm
Harder.
handling the
Yeah.
midnight issue that we have because it's 11 o'clock my time and she's going to handle the dining.
Yeah. So, FYI, mouse dining, I had originally wanted to do Bibbidi Bobbidi with Ellie for this past trip. It exploded the week we were there. I could have picked any time I only put it in for that one day I was in Magic Kingdom, and I literally could have had my pick of every 15-minute increment. My phone was blowing up with how many times. I had 3 reservations at once because I didn't know which time I liked better. And then we wound up not doing it because she was a cranky mess. I would not have
Well,
been.
you know what? I was telling my neighbor that my neighbor was using that one of those off-site things that came and like did it in your room, which I think is a great idea if you can't afford it or get the time you want. But she had mouse dining and she was getting nervous.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not coming through. It's not coming through. And I told her the week you're there, it's going to blow up. And then she was talking to me the whole time she was there. She's like, oh my God, I could have picked so many while I was there. But I understand why she didn't do that. Because like if it's your first trip and it's one you don't plan on doing for a while, you don't want to take that risk. So
Yeah.
she did the outside thing with it. She was like, mad about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could do that if we need to. I don't plan on buying mouse dining for my trip that's coming up or that one because there's nothing that I must have right now
Yeah.
that I can't get at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to do it again when I get closer for my trip in August just because there's 10 of us. And okay, random. The only one that I was able to get for 10 people without having to like mix and match it was Storybook Dining.
So weird.
Freaking heck. No issues. Exact time I wanted, the exact day I wanted, for 10 people. I'm like, it's a miracle. I could get on Melrose for 10 people. Why?
And that restaurant's empty at all time. That's
Like,
interesting.
They not seat men? I don't know. It's supposed to be an Italian restaurant. Italian families are big. Get your stuff together.
Well, all right, so mine's a twofer because I hate that all these special event things, and I'm not talking about parties, Droid Depot, building that you have to pay right then and there. And it wasn't always like that. I think it was back in April that it would hold the reservation
You didn't have
and
to.
that you can. No, you do. I just bought the droid.
Oh,
Yes,
I
you
didn't
do.
have for Bibbidi Bobbidi at all.
Well, that's good to know
I had-
because if I get it, because I just paid $127 last night for the
Oh.
droid up front.
I did not have to for Bibbidi Bobbidi. I had 3 reservations at one. Truck would have killed me if I was holding the 3 reservations.
And then I was listening to a blog the other day that said it wasn't always like that. And they did also loop in Capture the Magic, which you do have to pay up front to capture the magic. But it wasn't always like that. That they said they said Droid Depot, Savi's Workshop, and Capture the Magic. It used to be that when you check into your reservation, it would charge the card on file. But then now it's not like that, and you have to pay for it up front. And it's obnoxious because I don't want to pay $127. I would like to pay it when I'm there, and it wasn't an issue even getting. At this point, every single time slot is available for the droid. So I wasn't that worried about it, but I want to do it on a specific day while Ezra's napping. So I don't have to bring Ezra. We're going to split. Dan's going to take the kids for a nap. I'm going to surprise Nathan with his droid and we're going to do it that way. So I was only getting nervous that I was like, I need it during nap time, but it wasn't like going to sell out. I just was annoyed and it grinded my ears that I have to pay for it ahead of time.
Yeah, I get it.
I get that. It's annoying because it's like you want what you're paying for at that moment, not
What
2
if you
months later.
change your mind about the time and you're like, oh, shoot, now I have to do this whole cancellation of it?
Yeah.
Or if
Right.
something happens and you can't go, like, I don't know.
24 hours.
Yeah,
24 hours in advance or you lose your money.
that's hard.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I like that they changed it with dining.
Yes.
That's
Yeah. It's what, an hour? 2
3?
hours?
2
I
hours.
don't remember what it
Or
was.
3.
2 hours?
I think it's 3.
What's yours, Nicole?
Mine is really random. So we saw Inside Out 2 over the weekend, and it was adorable. Cried multiple times. Zachary loved it. Really, really good. I can't wait for you guys to both see it when it comes out on Disney Plus. But it got me thinking, like, these sequels, they are not creative titles. Inside Out 2, Cars 2, Cars 3. Toy Story 2, 3, 4, 5,
Same.
Moana 2. Like, what? We are Disney. Well, we know how to write. We know how to make movies. We can't think of a creative title for these movies.
That is so
They do
true.
it for Marvel. Marvel has all different movies, even Black Panther. Black Panther 2, not Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
titles.
Does any
Captain America, Civil War, and like the
Oh.
Avengers, Infinity.
like
Like,
Little Mermaid is just a Little Mermaid too.
right.
I can't even.
Or they just stick a number on the end of it. It makes me angry because
The one
it
that
really
I love.
could be creative and it could
even
make
the line
it like different. Right. The Lion King 1.5.
Lion King is 2, Simba's Pride.
Of
1.5. By the way, which I just saw today for like the 50th time. But Nathan goes, why is it called 1.5? So then me and Dan put our director's cap on and we're like, it's not happening after the Lion King. It's happening during the Lion King from
Yes.
the point of view of Timon and Pumbaa.
Okay, I was like,
Therefore, it
what?
was not Lion King 2, it is Lion King 1.5.
Right.
in
Like,
my favorite Lion King.
but
I
just
it's the best.
But yeah, just be a little bit more creative.
Instead of
Stop sticking a number at the end of these titles. Just
yeah. That's the only one that I will say I like being 1.5 because there is no 1.5 ever. But everything else,
yeah.
even
little
Moana,
creative.
Moana 2,
Moana 2. Like,
Jungle Book 2.
wait.
That's right.
It's
that's
annoying.
right.
I
I
literally
didn't
can't
know it's
think
petty.
of one that
What?
isn't like 1, 2, 3.
I can't think of
We
one.
can't unhear
No.
it now. It's over. I can't unhear it.
I'm sorry. Now
Now
you're
that-
it's gonna annoy all of you when you're scrolling Disney Plus and it's like,
Yeah.
which one do you want? 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Yeah.
All
That's
right, Jen,
totally
what's
bad.
yours?
Wow. Even like Frozen 1, Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Oh, she can't get over it.
No, I see. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I'm going to log in to my Disney Plus after this and just like, one has a title. I'm going to text you. Like, I'm one.
Oh my God. What's yours, Jen? Besides this topic.
No, God, I could talk about this topic all day long, apparently. Okay, so this is from my most recent trip. I had what grinded my ears when I was there. So I place an order when I get there from Walmart every time, but I forgot to get wipes. And I was annoyed the whole time. But I was like, you know what? I'll just like either run to the baby care center, I'll go to one of the stores. It's fine. They'll have wipes. And they had wipes, but it's only 16 count. It's like these tiny little ones for like $3 each. And I'm like,
Okay.
no, let me go to the next store and I'll see if I can find one. I don't want to place a Walmart order just for wipes. Like that's all I needed. We were leaving the next day. Like I had just ran out of wipes on the last day. I didn't want to place a whole new order. I just wanted wipes to be able to get me through the rest of my trip. But I wanted most of them wipes. I didn't think that was asking for much. I just wanted a thing of wipes. Like a normal person wants a normal size thing of wipes because my children are messy and I use them all the time. And I'm going to use 16 wipes very quickly. I have a newborn. He poops a lot. And I have an Ellie who puts food everywhere. So like I need wipes. I couldn't find it anywhere. Every single place only had the 16 count. I could get a whole thing of diapers, like a normal size thing of diapers. Nope, can't get wipes. And it's like, they're the ones that I use. It's the Huggies, which is nice, but it's this tiny little thing for a lot of money. And I was just like, because I just wanted normal wipes.
I had the opposite issue. I didn't want to buy an entire box of diapers. My last trip, I went through 4. I had 4 diapers in my diaper bag at Epcot. And I went through all 4 because Adam looked like Blowout City. And then I had to buy one of their onesies because he already had 2 blowouts in 3 hours. So my emergency onesie in my bag, I used that already. Then he blew up that. So then I was forced to buy a onesie from there for $20. Had a whole bunch back at the room, but what was I going to do? Like go on the bus with a blowout of a child?
Yeah.
And I used all my diapers, all 4 of them I had in my bag, and I need to buy it. And I had to buy a whole box. And they had no size 1 diapers. So I had to buy size 2, and he was 4 months old. He wasn't wearing 2 yet. So they were much bigger. And I was like stuck with these diapers. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So they didn't even have ones. And then I had to buy an entire box of diapers that don't actually fit my kid. I then find out through a blog that that's not the case in Disneyland. They have vending machines where you can buy 2 diapers that come with one of those 16-pack of wipes, and it's like a fair price for the.
They had that randomly. I did the conservation station thing. First ever. I've never done it before.
Fun.
It's actually cute. Like you get off the train and there's the Disney strollers. They have them for your use over there because you have to leave your stroller at the first, like, wherever you get on the train, and then you get on the train, and then when you get there, it's far. So they have like double strollers, single strollers that you can use while you're there. And then when you get to the end, by the petting zoo, there's a vending machine with diapers, and it's a whole changing station and everything in there. And it's a couple.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up so you can get some Robitussin.
Yes.
Did anyone have a moment that they put pixie dust on this week?
I've been sleeping all week. So, I mean, when your child comes home oozing of all of the germs and then passes you all of the germs, put some pixie dust on it, go to bed, and dream of your next trip.
Oh, man. Feel better, Jen.
Thank you.
Feel better.
Bye, guys.